artists and artwork. So we know that a really great topic is talking about art. And you could see that we can talk about not just the artist, but also we could talk about people. So we can talk about painters. That's people who will do a painting. We can talk about sculptures. That's people who will make a sculpture, or lots of different types of professions, jobs that have to do with art. And then you can talk about the artwork. You can talk about a painting and tell someone, what do you see in the painting? So that's what we're looking at in this part of our lesson. So I want to start a little bit with the grammar first, and then we'll do some reading. So you could see that I have here when we talk about what we prefer, so in number 5, we've got these 2 verbs. So the verbs are like and prefer. So when I say I like something, it means I really like it. Like it's really pleasing to me. I enjoy it. That's what it means. And when I say I prefer, it must mean that there's 2 options. So I prefer this painting to another painting, or I prefer this artist because there's another option. So I'm telling you why this artist is better than another artist. So these are the 2 verbs that we use when we talk about if we like something or if we prefer. So you got to make sure you know the difference between these 2 verbs, to like and to prefer. So as I said, to prefer, it's because you're choosing one over the other. You're saying, I prefer this one to this one. Like I prefer coffee instead of tea. So when I use the verb prefer, it's because there's an option. But like, I can just say, I like coffee, I like swimming, I like, lots of different things. So it's not really choosing. There's no options. It's just saying all the things that I enjoy and like. Okay, so that's why we have these 2 verbs. So many people like Stanislaw's painting of people's faces, but I prefer his paintings of landscapes. Okay, so now we are going to look at a reading together. And then we'll talk about, we'll do an activity where we will talk about an artist that we like. But first, let's read together. The topic is art. And as I said, the person that is doing the job is called an artist, and his work is called art. So let's read together to practice our pronunciation. So the title is Nature in Art. Many artists paint and use nature in their work, but the results can be very different. Here are 5 of the most famous. Stanislaw, I don't know how to pronounce that. So, yeah, maybe that's good. Okay, 1855 to 1939. Was a Polish artist. And you often see his paintings in art galleries in Poland. Many people like, let's just say Witzkazits paintings of people's faces. But I prefer his paintings of nature and landscapes. This one, painted in 1907, shows the Hinsco Lakes in the Tatra Mountains. I like this painting because of the green fields and blue water. I'd love to go there. And this is the painting here, number 2. So you could see that it's a traditional kind of painting. So in number 1, is the picture modern or traditional? So this is traditional. Okay, you could tell it's traditional because it's about nature. It's got the Tatra Mountains. There's a lake, the blue water. And yeah, so this is the painting here. And he's from Poland. He's a Polish artist. Okay, Japanese art is famous for landscape paintings. You can often see sea and sky and mountains and trees. Andro Hiroshige worked in the 19th century, and he's one of Japan's most famous artists. He printed and sold thousands of beautiful prints in his lifetime. However, he was poor when he died. And you can see this is his painting here, number 3. And is it a traditional or modern painting? Traditional. So again, traditional because it's of nature, it's of life. We call this traditional painting. Okay, so for number 1, is the picture modern or traditional? You can write traditional for number 3. And do you know which country or period, the history it is from? Yes, we know that this painting is from the 19th century. Yep, Japanese. We can see, again, it's mountains, and you can see the trees and the water. So another traditional painting. Okay, Beatrice Milhazes is a Brazilian artist. Do you know her? Yes, from Rio de Janeiro. She's famous for her colorful paintings of flowers and interesting shapes. She also makes sculptures with different types of natural and man-made materials. Personally, I like all her work, though I prefer her paintings. Okay, and her painting would be this one here. So you could see it's very colorful. Okay, lots of colors. And is this a traditional or modern painting? It's, yes, not tradition, it's modern. So modern just means like new, you know, modern, now. It's not nature, it's just, you know, lots of different, I mean, you can kind of see like a flower and lots of lines and circles, and it's just modern. We call this modern painting. And we can see, it didn't say when, so we don't know when she painted it, what century, but we know that she likes natural and man-made materials. Okay, the next one, the last one, we have Vincent van Gogh. Made 11 paintings. of sunflowers. They were his favorite paintings because he loved the color yellow. I prefer his other paintings, but many people love the sunflower paintings. Nowadays, you can see them on cards, postcards, and t-shirts. Van Gogh died with no money. But in 1987, someone brought the last sunflower painting for $49 million. That's crazy. And that's the painting here. So we can see it's a traditional one as well, because traditional just means anything in nature. If it's something in nature, that's traditional. So this is a sunflower, a type of flower. It was his favorite. Do we know which country? We know it didn't tell us which country, no, or which period of time. But what can we see? We can see flowers. You could see the pot. And I like that you could see his name just here, Vincent. Okay, so that's his painting, and it's another traditional one. Okay, so before we answer some questions about, well, let's do it together. So if you look at number 4, this artist paints and uses nature in art. They all do. Can you see how this is all nature? But the modern one, yes, it is nature, and it's not traditional, it's modern, because it's like taking something from nature and just making it new, you know, by adding more different colors. I mean, we don't have a blue flower like that. So she's put very modern things to it. You know, it's not very traditional. Traditional means like old and, you know, like it looks like the way it is. She's changed it. You know, you could tell that she's made the flower blue. She's just done lots of different things. So she's made it modern. This artist is living now. For number 4, number 2, we know only Beatrice. Yeah. So all of the other artists have passed away, but only Beatrice, you could put a tick. This artist is living now, only Beatrice. This artist painted the same subject 11 times. Do you remember who? Van Gogh. So he painted 11 times the sunflower. This artist also makes sculptures. So sculptures are like things that you could, it's a 3D, you could see it. Like maybe it's a statue or of a person, of a building. Who made sculptures? Beatrice, again. This artist paints flowers. Do you remember from reading it? Van Gogh. Yeah. And who else paints flowers? Beatrice, yeah. Beatrice, yeah. Good. He didn't have money when he died. He didn't have money when he died. We know Van Gogh is one. And yeah, but when he died, no money. But after, yes, because one painting was sold. And Andrew, the Japanese. So he was poor when he died. Okay, so hi to Henry, you're online with us. And we just read this article about nature. We're talking about art and nature. So now I want to hear, who is your favorite artist? Remember, artist means the person, or your favorite art. So maybe it's a picture of someone or a drawing. So tell us about your favorite art or artist. So you pick one. So I'll read some to you. So I choose Frida because her story calls me a lot of attention. A famous artist, rich but unhappy because she thought she was ugly. She always had several men, most all interested in her money. She lived a life to cover the hole she felt in her soul. She was unhappy in her marriage. She was betrayed by her husband with her own sister. And in addition to all that, she suffered from a bone disease that made it impossible for her to walk. She lived part of her life in a bed, and even laying down, she felt pleasure in painting. Sad life. Okay, so that's about Frida Kahlo. Okay, so this is an example. So someone is writing about the artist Frida Kahlo. This is another example. I like Tarsila do Amaral, who was a Brazilian painter. Do you know her? Yeah? That left a mark on my childhood when I had drawing lessons. I always tried to imitate her drawings. That means copy. She was born in São Paulo and passed away in 1973. Her work were worth a lot of money. I'm not a big art fan, but she's the one I remember the most. So that's nice. Someone wrote about Tarsila do Amaral, if I'm saying it right. And that's an artist. So he wanted to talk about her life because when he was a kid, he copied her work. So that's nice memory for this writing. Okay, another one, Fabio Gomez. So I don't know, the artist, Fabio Gomez, the artist from Goiás, became known around the world for his arts made on the walls of Trinidad. His drawings are inspired by Brazilian nature. This is another Brazilian one, fauna and flora. The designer shows through his art that the characteristics of Black people are beautiful and should be highlighted. So it would be nice if you add a picture. So as I said, you can pick an artist, so a person who is an artist, and then just put a photo, or you can pick an artwork. So I'll pick another one. So this one is about an artwork. So this is a painting of Muriel Etinas, who was baptized as Todos Somos It is located in the Bamboa neighborhood in the city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So a lot of Brazilian today. It measures 15 meters high and 170 meters long. It was painted by artist Eduardo Cobra on an old warehouse building for the 2016 Summer Brazilian Olympics. Do you remember this one? The Summer Olympics Brazilian? He is 48 years old and lives in São Paulo with his family. So let's have a look at his painting, because you should really add a picture so we can see it. So this is, yeah, of refugees. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it to the post because I want to see the picture as well. So if you could add the picture. So he wanted to talk about an artwork. So if you could see, he's telling us about this painting, but yes, he did say who did it. Okay, so that's a good example of talking about the art. The art means the actual drawing, the picture, the painting. So he gave us a little bit of information about what is on the picture. Just, you know, the height of it, it's 170 meters long. And he told us by who? By Edward Cobra. And I like it. I like that he told us, you know, as you told me, it's for the refugees. So he really wanted to, he told us where it is located in the Gamboa neighborhood in the city of Rio de Janeiro. Okay, so try to talk about an art, that means just one painting, or about the life of an artist. It can be from your country, or maybe it's just one that you always liked. Maybe you studied them when you were in school. And maybe you have something special, like you used to copy their work, or you go to the museum to see their work. So I want to know from you, who is your favorite artwork or your favorite artist? And I'll just read one more because I have lots of examples. The Mona Lisa. So we know the Mona Lisa. I'll show you a picture here, right? I think everyone knows Mona Lisa. Very famous painting. So this is an art. Okay, so she doesn't want to talk about the artist. She wants to talk just about this art. So Mia says, very long, we don't want to write too much. The Mona Lisa, also known as La Gioconda in Italian and La Gioconde in French, is a portrait painted by Leonardo da Vinci during the Renaissance. So even it's good to say when was the painting made. It is widely regarded as Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece. Masterpiece means like his great, great work, and one of the most famous paintings in the world. The picture depicts, that means it shows, a mysteriously smiling woman sitting in black. Her expression is often described as mysterious and has attracted scholars and art lovers for centuries. Okay, I won't read too much because we don't want to read too much. Actually, this is a great one. Have you seen this one in Adelaide? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, this is very new. Oh no, yes. So you took a picture. Yes. Well, it's still there. If you go to the same place. So this one says, this is my favorite painting, which is on the wall of a building located on East Terrace, Adelaide. That's just here, not far. I'm not too sure who the artist is, but I'm very impressed. That means I really, really like, wow. So, but I'm very impressed with how the white paint perfectly contrasts a person's face. That means like how the white, you know, it makes his face with the white paint. It is very realistic. That means it looks real. It's very realistic. I really like walking along this street, and little by little, the image appears as I get closer. I find it very interesting. And then after they have found the information, they added it here. So this is a painting by Thomas Redette and Laura Page in 2021. So very, very new painting. I remember when I first saw that. Okay, so you could see that again, we are talking about your favorite art or your favorite artist. So I think I have, yes, Henry, you did Mona Lisa as well. So again, we have Mona Lisa, and Henry writes, if you come to Paris, France, and don't enjoy Leonardo da Vinci's breathtaking museums and collections, you'd be remiss. Although there are many options, Paris has one art museum that stands above all others, the Louvre. This is another painting of a woman whose facial expressions are often described as mysterious. Okay, so you only just want to give about 5 sentences because you just want to put the important detail. Where, when did they do it? Why do you like it? Remember to use those verbs. I like this painting because, okay? Or the artist, maybe the person. You know, I like this artist because he, you know, he's very strong. He's done so much. He whatever. So try to use those verbs I like and I prefer that we talked about in the beginning of the lesson. And I'll just do one more from Javiera. So Javiera sends us this picture. So this is Van Gogh, another one of Van Gogh. And she writes, I like Vincent van Gogh's The Starry Night. So make sure you put it in capital letters. The name of the painting and the name of the artist must be in capital letter. Now she said, I like it because it is a beautiful painting and reflects his personal struggle and worldwide view as his life was marked by emotional challenges. The Starry Night is a spectacular work because of its artistic innovation, emotional depth, personal meaning, and lasting cultural impact. Okay, and I think that is all my examples. I will add an image to all the other ones. So you now can tell us about your favorite artist. Remember, artist is the person, or it could be a sculptor, someone who makes, you know, like a sculpture. Or about one artwork in particular. Okay, so we'll come back in a moment.